An important skill to master as we're studying algebra is the ability to simplify an expression involving function notation. So in this example, we're going to simplify expressions where you either have an inside or an outside multiplier on a function. So for example, our task here is to simplify the following expressions if f of x is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 7. And the first task we have is to simplify f of negative x. Okay, so when you have a different input on the inside of a function other than x, what do we do with that? Like if we had f of 1, what would we do? We would stick the 1 in for x everywhere we see an x, right? So it's the same thing here, it's just that we've got some other little algebraic expressions happening. So in this case, we're going to use negative x as an input into the function that I'm given. So, and you want to input negative x everywhere you see an x in the function. Like I said, if this was a number, like if you had f of 1, you would know what to do with it, right? You would stick that 1 in everywhere you see an x. So it's the same thing here, it's just that the input we have isn't 1, it's negative x, right? So we're just sticking in whatever is there. Okay, and then it's a matter of simplifying that. Negative x times negative x is positive x squared. And then we have negative 4 times negative x, which is positive 4x, right? Plus 7. Okay. Now, what happens if the negative is on the outside of the function? So instead of affecting the input of the function, we're now affecting the output. So what we're doing then is we're negating the entire function. So f of x is really x squared minus 4x plus 7, is it not? And we're saying we have negative f of x. So I'm literally just putting a negative out in front of that entire expression. I'm going to distribute the negative x through, negative x squared plus 4x minus 7. Okay, so you get the idea, the difference between f of negative x and negative f of x. Okay, now I want to show you the difference between finding f of 2x and 2f of x, and it's the same concept, right? So with f of 2x, 2x is now our input. So everywhere we see an x in the function, we're going to stick in 2x. So we've got 2x quantity squared, all of it is squared, right? Minus 4 times the quantity 2x plus 7, right? Okay, so now that we have our function with an input of 2x, we're going to simplify that. Okay, so when we have 2x quantity squared, we have to square the 2 and we have to square the x. So we're going to have 4x squared minus 8x plus 7. Okay, and then over here with 2f of x, again, we're taking 2 and we're just multiplying that 2 times the entire function of x squared minus 4x plus 7. So we're doing this to the output of the function, right? We're multiplying the whole thing by 2. So we've got 2x squared minus 8x plus 14. Okay? In this course, these kinds of things are really just an algebraic exercise, but graphically speaking, when we put a negative on the inside of a function or on the outside of a function, or when we have an inside multiplier of 2 or an outside multiplier of 2, that actually affects the graph of the function. So the negative inside reflects it across the y-axis, the negative on the outside reflects it in the x-axis. The 2 on the inside of the function will be a horizontal shrinkage, whereas the 2 on the outside will be a vertical stretch. So later on as you study mathematics, we'll be learning about these things and some of the application that goes along with it. But for right now, we're just concentrating on the algebra of it. Okay, great.